Today is International Day for Biological Diversity. It's Wednesday, May 22. Here's what's making the news. Guyana today joins the rest of the world in celebrating International Day for Biological Diversity to increase understanding and awareness of biodiversity issues. This year's theme is Our Biodiversity, Our Food, Our Health. We now tell you that the Philippines government is eyeing investments in Guyana's sugar and energy sectors. Earlier today, the new ambassador of the Republic of the Philippines to Guyana, Marichi Moreau, presented her letter of credence to President David Granger.
The newly appointed Filipino ambassador to Guyana said that her government will be looking at possible investments in the sugar industry. The two countries will also be collaborating to explore hydropower technology in Guyana.
My government admires Guyana's expertise in hydroelectrical technology and its ability to include local communities and other stakeholders in its development. So we are very interested in pursuing a cooperation project in hydroelectric and hydropower technology with Guyana.
President David Granger said that the government is grateful for the expertise of the more than 100 Filipinos working in various fields in Guyana and looks forward to continue cooperation with the country.
Guyana has benefited from the services of professionals from the Philippines who have come here to work in a wide range of fields, including education, forestry, and health. We are grateful for the expertise and the service of these professionals. Guyana looks forward to improving cooperation with the Philippines, particularly in the fields of agriculture, commerce, the environment, fisheries, and marine development.
Guyana and the Philippines have enjoyed diplomatic relations since September 2008. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
Guyanese will benefit from training in several areas compliments of Chile. This commitment was made today by Chilean Ambassador Patricio Marshall following courtesy calls on Minister of State Dawn Hastings Williams and Minister of Public Service Tabitha Sarabuhali.
Emphasis will be placed on safe mining practices relating to the extraction of gold without the use of mercury. Those discussions were held with State Minister Dawn Hastings Williams and Chilean Ambassador Patricio Marshall. As the minister said, while the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission and the Environmental Protection Agency have been playing their roles in trying to find alternatives to mercury, there is still need for assistance.
When we're asking him to stop using mercury to extract gold, we have to find alternative ways that we can, let them know. So, and that is where we look for countries like Chile who are more advanced in their mining areas to assist us.
The offer for more scholarships in the area of agriculture to help Guyana make more use of its produce was also made. Currently, there is one person pursuing a degree in fisheries and two persons who will soon depart to pursue degrees in food science in September. Minister of Public Service Tabitha Sarabuhali underscored the importance of having more scholarships in those areas.
In fisheries and food sciences with these degrees, it is going to the next level in terms of food and agriculture. We're not just producing the crops to export, but how do we use the crops that we are growing to now diversify it and use it in a different way, and food sciences allows us to do that.
The degree programs are the first of this magnitude to be offered by Chile, and it is the hope of the minister that it is expanded over time. This year will make it 48 years of formal diplomatic relations between Guyana and Chile. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
More good news as hydrographic equipment totaling $68 million was handed over to the Guyana Maritime Administration Department under the Commonwealth Marine Economics Program.
We hope that future CME programs will enable capacity building within the maritime sector to enable Guyana to better understand and manage our marine estate.
Director General of the Maritime Administration, MARAD, Claudette Rogers. The donation of the hydrographic equipment will help Guyana to meet its obligation under the Safety of Life at Sea, SOLAS, Chapter 5, Regulation 9 to provide surveying services. Under the CME program, personnel from both the Guyana Lands and Survey Commission and MARID will benefit from training opportunities.
This final phase would see staff from the Hydrographic Office being trained in both theoretical and practical hydrographic surveying, which would facilitate the compilation of modern navigational charts of the priority areas and will improve access for commercial shipping, ultimately reducing the costs of both imports and exports by sea.
British High Commissioner Greg Quinn praised Guyana's admission as the 90th member of the International Hydrographic Organization, noting that the surveying equipment will help to retain that membership. The High Commissioner also announced plans for Guyana under the CME program.
The CME, the Commonwealth Marine Economies Programme, is working in partnership with the government to produce a maritime economy plan. That will help ensure Guyana is able to sustainably develop and manage its maritime economy and increase economic growth.
Hydrographic Program Manager within the United Kingdom Hydrographic Office, UKHO, Ian Davies, during a demonstration of the use of the equipment, reiterated the UKHO's commitment towards building capacity in Guyana's maritime sector. The donation of the equipment will help Guyana to uphold its commitment towards the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 14, which aims to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. For InfoHub, Shaquille Bourne.
The Civil Defense Commission continues to take a proactive approach to oil spill response, even as Guyana prepares for first oil in early 2020. The Commission, in collaboration with U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil, rolled out the training component for the oil spill response for the Voluntary Emergency Response Team program. The three-day workshop will see VERT participants engaged in sessions geared towards capacity building and oil spill response. The course comprises two sections, which are the Incident Command System 100 and Incident Command System 200, and the deployment of oil spill response equipment. The participants are required to complete the ICS 100 and ICS 200 examinations online before being certified. Director General of the CDC, Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig, called on the participants to take the training seriously.
We want to ensure that we have volunteers who are trained and equipped and ready to respond to any oil spill if it occurs any part of Guyana. You must be able to use this equipment. You must be able to support your team members in utilization of and deployment of oil spill equipment. Because if something happens, you will be supporting the lead agencies.
Senior Director of Public and Government Affairs of ExxonMobil, Deidre Moe, expressed similar sentiments.
Volunteers with the relevant skills and knowledge can play such an important role when accidents and disasters can occur and provide assistance to relief forces such as the Civil Defense Commission. So what you're doing here is so very important because there are significant benefits that can be derived from your involvement at the local and national level.
The oil spill response course concludes on Thursday with a practical session of equipment deployment. Following reports of two female students of the Quarantine Comprehensive High School falling ill, the Ministry of Education has informed that at present, none of the girls is in critical condition. It was reported that the girls fell ill after consuming water said to have been mixed with an unknown substance in their water bottles, an act which was allegedly carried out by classmates. The matter is engaging the attention of the Guyana Police Force, who has since questioned the classmates in the presence of their parents. The Ministry of Education is actively addressing the matter, and its Welfare Division in Region 6 is providing counseling and psychological support to all affected by the incident. When we return, community forest organizations sensitized on best practices for logging, and from nothing to something, a young entrepreneur shares his success story.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet. including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Thanks for staying with us. Community forest organizations were on Monday sensitized on best practices for loggers of Carriacou Region 3 through a capacity building workshop.
The capacity building workshop was hosted by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. Everton Gibson of King William Dam and Leslie Jones of Saxacali both said they are now equipped with knowledge on environmental authorization. They plan to share this newfound knowledge with other community forest operators, CFOs.
I never knew that as loggers, we're supposed to apply to the EPA for a license to do our harvesting before going to GFC. I learned that today, and I learned also new things in how to go about doing the application for an EPA license, likewise rules and procedures we should take.
What I learned today, I may have to share with them, tell them, what I've learned today. It is very interesting.
Senior Environmental Officer of EPA, Candace Thompson, explained that the workshop is fitting since many logging offences are committed in these areas.
When the CFOs become authorized and we conduct our inspections and we see they are breaching some of the permit conditions, which will deal with some of those issues that you spoke about, air, noise, waste, and so on. What we will do is to recommend corrective measures to them, how they can mitigate, to reduce the risk, reduce the impacts. We would make those recommendations and give them a reliable time to implement those measures. And of course, we will follow up.
Coming to you from the foreshores of Carriacou Region 3, with videographer Kareem Peters, Kepani Jordan, InfoHub.
The InfoHub team recently journeyed to Linden Region 10, where we met with a young entrepreneur who is making positive strides in his community and employing young people along the way.
36-year-old Deron Adams started his entrepreneurial journey 13 years ago. Today, he has built a small empire and is the managing director of corporate supplies. His journey began in a time when, according to him, it was a hopeless situation for youths.
Back in 2006, after realizing, you would have been sending applications out to different companies, different government agencies. At the time, it was very difficult. I believe, under the circumstances, for young people, the challenges that we faced then are not the same today.
Adams related that he was caught between the proverbial rock and a hard place. In an effort to find a way out, he decided to do something to catch his hands.
I decided to start my own business. I started first selling CDs and DVDs, and then gradually, at the request of a religious organization, they wanted a drum set. And that is where it all started, because me being a musician, I ordered a drum set for them.
It was from this one order that Adams' business evolved, moving from selling CDs to ordering and shipping products online for various agencies and businesses in his hometown. He did not stop there, as he was keen on not only growing his business, but on giving back to his community as well.
We had two workshops in 2018. ICT workshop, which was made possible by the Office of the First Lady, the Ministry of Social Protection, and the Board of Industrial Training, and also coordinated by Corporate Supplies. And we were able to train a number of young people. They received their certificates. A number of them are today employed across a number of agencies.
Adams, in closing, had some words of advice for the youths who may feel as though they are in a similar position he was in those many years ago.
I want to ask them to take the advice of His Excellency the President when he said to the young people, get involved in business. We have to move from that place where we are depending on government for a job. There are so many. Look, 20% of the contracts will now be given to small businesses. That is something that you can tap into.
The young entrepreneur has since expanded to Georgetown and has lowered the cost of color printing in Linden from over $300 to a mere $90 with his new smart card system. Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
Cultural Extravaganza, hosted by the Department of Culture, featured a night filled with renditions of the country's national and folk songs, poetry and storytelling, which reminded both the young and old of the multicultural society Guyana truly is.
Up the Cayuni River, well let me tell you about Great Camira. Up the Cayuni River.
The Cultural Extravaganza is part of the activities for the nation's 53rd independence anniversary, undertaken by the Ministry of Presidency's Department of Social Cohesion, Culture, Youth and Sports. The event was hosted on Tuesday evening at the Umanayana. Coordinator Barbara Reynolds said the event was well received by the audience, noting their interactions throughout the performances made the night worth it.
The important thing about this is that we're a nation, and all the songs, whether they're the national songs or the folk songs, whether they're poems or stories, what they tell us is who we are, and they help us to feel positive about who we are as a nation. And that's why we're here. We're one nation, one people, one destiny.
InfoHub spoke to a few members of the audience about their experience.
It was wonderful. It was fantastic. I can't think the last time that I enjoyed a cultural evening quite this much here in Georgetown. I really loved the storytelling. All of the musicians have to be commended. They were all fantastic, both the singers and the people who are playing instruments. I really loved the poetry as well and the spoken word pieces. But I think if I have to pick only one favorite, it's got to be the steel pans.
It was out of this world. If you never felt like a Guyanese, you felt like one tonight.
Persons interested in the department's slated activities for independence can visit its annual art and craft market on May 22nd and 23rd on Main Street.
May the blessings of God never leave your shore.
Neola Dimon, InfoHub.
That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy. And pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.